All right, I think we're recording. We
Mhm.
are recording. All right. So it is Thursday, the 21st. I apologize for being a day late. I had things come up yesterday that I could not get out of, literally, and so we're doing it today. And then maybe today was better because we got 3 people showing up today, which is awesome. Week 6 is all about it. Like we've been talking about the selecting statements. So today we're going to talk about getting data into the tables. String data, numeric data. We did a little bit of this the other day when I was doing the sum, average, counts, max, min. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I was talking about how to do with numeric data. Remember, we're talking with aggregate functions. You got to have everything in the group by. That's where this is. Temporal, date, times, and stamps. So I'm gonna do a couple of things here, and then we're gonna go open to questions. The first thing I want to point out to you is this function, this page here is a great page. These are all these fun commands. I'm gonna show you a couple of these commands today. These are all string functions to change to mess with text values. I'm gonna show you a couple of these. Also, where's that page? This website, w3schools.com, I suggest bookmarking this and looking stuff up there. It's a very good site. You just put over here's all the commands that you might need to use in your life, and it goes through for you. So it's also a very good site. So let me pull up my code here. Okay. I'm going to start by creating a table. Everyone here should create. I think everyone's created a table at this point. Table called persons. This is just so I can show you different ways to insert. So the first one, I'm trying to insert in persons, Williams, Venus 27. Is this going to fail or is this going to succeed?
It's going to fail.
Why is it going to fail?
Because you haven't specified the columns.
What? Well, yeah, that is true. And it's not, and so this is going to fail, and it's going to give me the error.
Wait, what was your question? I'm sorry.
Is this going to fail or is this insert statement here, is it going to fail or is it going to succeed?
Fail.
It's going to fail
Well,
because I don't have all.
You didn't use the Q yet. So technically, if you had all of the, like every single column listed within your thing, it would work, right?
If I did this one would work.
Yeah, that would.
Okay. Will this one work?
The order of your columns might be mismatched.
That's a good point. So here I got person ID, int, not null is the first one, auto increment. Last name, not null. First name, age.
Well, isn't that
ID?
a problem again? Because you don't have the. Well, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So the auto increment is going to be a problem because you need to either say null or default, right?
Well, let's see what happens. So so we know this one's going to fail. We know this one's going to work. Is this going to work or fail?
Yeah, that one's gonna work.
Okay, but we're not sure about this one.
That one's gonna fail.
This one's going to fail. Okay, so we're going
But
to
as long as the age is supposed to be 102 and the last name is Williams and the first name Willie, that'll work.
Okay.
Oh wait, no.
Well, it's gonna
I just
fail
realized
because it's would it fail because it's not specifying like last name, first name, and age, right?
But notice how I put the column names here. I put the columns in age, last name, first name.
Okay.
So let's try this one. We know this one's going to fail. Okay, that one totally failed.
So
Column
wait, as long as the columns names match the order that you put the values in, it will work.
Yep.
Except for if you have a column that you didn't do that needed a value, it'll be like, dude, that's not
Correct.
You have to put that column in, that value in.
That one worked fine. That one worked fine. Let's see if this one works.
Fail.
That one worked.
Oh.
Hey, why did that one work?
Why? Yeah, why does it work?
So MySQL has a weird thing about it when it does auto incrementing. Okay, so other databases have something called identities like that. So if you try to put something into that column, it's going to fail, right? So let me look what's in persons here, right? Let's see, it's like persons, or it's just different persons. Okay. So I've got 1, 2, 16. So what happens if I do with auto increment, if I do like this one again, goes without a problem, and I go down here. I select you again, come here. It just picks up the next number. Because all this is saying in the create statement is auto increment. It's saying find the highest number and add 1 to it, and that's your next column number. So this isn't a true, so MySQL doesn't have a true identity column like we know with other databases. Okay, in a true identity column in Oracle and Microsoft SQL and other servers, if you call the person ID an identity column, it will number it and will not allow you to manually put in a number. But because this is only auto increment, as long as that number isn't the same number, if I try to run this one again, it's going to fail because 16 is already there, right? But if I change this to like 112, and I run this, and then I run these, oops. It just takes the auto increment. All auto increment does, it finds the highest number in that column and adds 1 to it, and it automatically numbers it that way. It doesn't force a numbering sequence. Does that make sense? It's a little terrifying, and it should be.
I'm confused. But you had 16 and 16 is a person ID,
Right? So
but it
then
didn't work.
So what happens is it will not allow me to put a duplicate entry in here, because here I have it as a primary key, and primary key means no duplicates, right?
Okay.
So if I can, just because an auto increment column doesn't mean I cannot put a number in there. What it does mean is I can't put duplicate numbers in there. And if I put a number in here, let's put this like 252. I can run this, and it will insert the value of that column with the ID of 252, right? So the next time I try to insert, if I like, I'll do this one here. So I'll do this one again here. If I do this one, the ID column is going to go, hang on a second, what's the highest number? It's 252. My next one's going to be 253. So if I insert this one, it's going to come in at 253. And run. Okay, and there it is. So all auto increment does, it takes, when you insert a new column, a new row, rather, it looks for the highest value in that auto increment row, adds 1 to it, and puts it in its place. That's all it does.
So, but since you had 16, wouldn't it add to be 17? Wouldn't it be 17?
No, because I just added another one. I just added 252. So it'll go to wherever the highest one is. So now the highest one here is 253. So the next one will be 254, then 255, unless I manually put in a different number.
Okay.
Okay. It's important to know that it's not a true identity column. In a true identity column, it will automatically number itself and will not allow you to enter in a number.
So
This
is there like a way to make it do it the right way? Like to
Not-
be
not
a
in my-
true identity?
Not in
Okay.
MySQL.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so now another way, so we can insert data like this all day long. We just do this, boom, boom, and we have to do it manually with one insert statement per. But in MySQL, you do have the ability to do insert into persons, last name, first name, age, and then values, and then separating by comma in parentheses all the values you want to put in. So you don't have to write that insert into persons many times. Now, you may wonder what floor and rand are. So rand is a random number less than 1. I think I have it down here. Did I do that down here? So let me see. So so this is just fun stuff here. So if I do select rand, it just gives me a number less than 1. Run a couple times.
A random number less
Yeah.
than 1.
Random number less than 1. Yep. Random number less than 1. So what I have here, and what floor does, so if I do floor,
So you round down.
so I do floor rand, it'll always give me 0 because it's rounding to the, and this is always less than 0. So what I have to do here is I go ahead and do this times 50 plus 10. And now when I do this, just it gives me a random number less than 100. It's a party trick.
So
I
the
just
50, like, where did that come from
I just
specifically?
made it up.
Or-
I just made it up.
Okay.
You can change it to like, 87. I just need to find a quick way to do ages under the age of 100. So all this does, this is just like, it's just messing with numbers and playing with things because I need a way to randomly generate an age. And that was just the easiest way to do it. So here, if I run this, it's going to insert all these 4 columns in. So now here we got Bobby, Andy, Jeremy, and Jerome, all with random ages. Okay, so this is just another way to do an insert statement. So instead of having to insert persons, blah, 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 you just do values and then in parentheses and with comma separated, as many as you want. The other way you can do is you can insert using a select statement. So here I've got lower last name, lower first name in the random age generator from actor, which gives me this. Lower is just a way to say anything in the parentheses, show in all lowercase. And obviously there's one called upper, which does the exact opposite. So if I do this, I insert 200 rows into my table persons. And if I do this, now I've got all these people and all their ages. Okay. There's really not a lot of fun. I mean, inserting data is just inserting data. You can take whatever query here with whatever inner joins you want, make a ridiculous long query and just use that to insert. Okay. Now updating. Updating is very simple. You update, it's command update, name of the table, what column you're setting, what you're setting it to, and what the criteria is. So here, I'm going to take the table persons and set the first name to the uppercase first name, where the age is between 25 and 40. So let's look down here. So 25 and 40 are all these good people here. So if I run this and then do my selects, 77 rows affected. Okay. So we can update using that criteria.
Wait.
can
We just
Mhm.
talked through update one more time because I was thinking
Sure.
insert for a second. So just say that stuff one more time.
Update is the command, name of the table you're updating. You're setting the column to a specific value, whatever you set, here's gonna be the value. And you set a where criteria. Okay,
Okay, that's perfect. Thanks.
so here's another one. We're going to update persons, set first name to the upper, and add a little command here called reverse, which means it's going to reverse the string. So let's look at someone who's age 45. So we got Mila and Carmen and Jane. These are all between 45 and 55, whoopee. So if I run this command, I'm updating persons. I'm setting the first name to the uppercase version of the first name, and I'm reversing it. So the letters are gonna be backwards. Run that. 51 rows affected. Search by age. Go down to someone who's 45 years old. And then all these are now reversed. I'm just demonstrating how updates work. This is what
Does
it is.
that work with numbers too? Will it reverse the numbers?
That's only for strings. You have to
Okay.
convert the number into a string and then do that. Okay. So here we're going to update using an inner join. I'm updating the persons table. I'm inner joining it to customer on
I
with
have
the
a
last.
Sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
So by reverse, you mean reverse name, like the letters?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll just,
that
I
makes
mean, again, it's another party trick. I'm just doing it to show difference when I update something. I was trying to find ways to update it to make it kind of fun. So I'm just reversing the person's name.
Okay, so my question is, I see the one that says like 45, they're all reversed, but it says between 45 and 55. Wouldn't it be like everything be after 45 and anything before 55?
No,
But
when you
it
do
So does it
when you-
include 45 and 55?
between,
Yeah.
when the command between includes 45 and 55.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. The command between includes 45 and 55.
Okay.
So, I mean, because it's like if you say like, tell someone like, and that's how we intrinsically do it anyway. So if you say, tell someone pick a number between 1 and 10, 1 and 10 are options. Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you said you tell someone pick a number between 1 and 3, the only answer would be 2 if we didn't include 1 and 3. So between includes the initial numbers in the range. So
Okay,
another
yeah.
way to do updates is by using inner joins or outer joins or whatever kind of joins. Update persons. I'm joining it to customer. I'm comparing the last name and the first name of those. So the last name and persons to last name and customers, and I'm setting the age to 999, where age is less than 25. So let's see where we've got. We will know. We have to run that to see what it is. I don't have a query to prove this thing. So let me run this, and we have 12 rows affected. So I do this select by age, and go all the way to the bottom. This is the last name that appeared in customer and persons, and the age was initially under the age of 25, so I changed it to 99.99. Again, a very impractical application just to show you the principle. Okay. Now delete. Delete is very simple. Delete from persons, so it's the delete command. Put from in there, name of the table, and then your criteria as to where you're deleting it from. So I'm going to delete here every last name that begins with an F. So if I do this, there are no more Fs. I can also run deletes by using joins. So I'm deleting from persons. From persons, I'm inner joining customer, where the last names are the same, where the age is 999. So the 77 I just changed here, whatever the number was here, I'm deleting them at this point. So I'm using the same join to delete them. Does that make sense?
So you wouldn't like join them first and then
No.
delete, you would delete first.
So do you remember, so in the syntax of this, and this is where this doesn't necessarily make the most sense. Whenever you're doing a select, an update, a delete, or insert, the first command has to be the DML command. It has to be insert, update, delete, or select. So delete will always have to be first. And delete whatever table you're taking from. And you do have to repeat it like here. With here, you update persons to inner join from here. Okay. With delete, it's a little different. You say you're deleting from, and then you have a from command. So you delete from persons, inner join customer, and then the criteria with the delete. So it's just a slight difference in the syntax. And as always, I'll put these queries in the post that I put up when I do this. So I run this and delete 12 rows. And I do here, all those 999s are gone. And it's back to just Willie's 102. Okay, so that is pretty much how you do inserts, updates, and deletes. You may also sometimes hear, and this isn't an actual command, but if you're in the field and talking to people, they would sometimes refer to updates as upserts. So I'm gonna do a little of a deep dive here as to why they call it that. Okay.
Wait. Before you dive, can I ask one more question about
Sure.
the delete thing? Okay, so when you're referencing persons in your delete statement, you
Yeah.
have it all capitalized. Delete persons from persons. Can you explain that a bit?
It's just how I typed it.
It's just how you typed it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
MySQL is not case sensitive in this way. So it is case sensitive. So MySQL is not case sensitive on the table names, but it is case sensitive for what's in the database, the columns, the rows. Okay. So this I can do lowercase, uppercase. I can make it look like this.
You can, yeah, you're good. Thank you.
If I'm being a jerk, I can do that and confuse everybody. But yeah, so that doesn't matter. So when you insert into a table, you're obviously putting information into the table. When you're deleting, you're obviously delete the information from a table. When you're updating, you're actually doing both. So when you update, what the engine is doing behind the scenes isn't updating that column, that row, it's deleting that row and reinserting it. That's why they call it an upsert. That's a little for your information kind of thing. Doesn't make a difference in the world. I just find it very interesting. That's what it does. It's considered delete and an update. A delete and insert. Anyway, if that confused you, just forget anything I said. Just got a little functions here I want to play with. Substring just gives you, so here I'm selecting the substring from description in the film table, starting at position 10 and going through position 15. So when this runs, it just gives me that little snapshot. Starts at position 10 and then takes 15 positions after that. So it goes to 25. So it just grabs a little piece of it.
So actually, I wanted to ask about this because
Sure.
it was in the exercises and I felt like it was a little tricky. So it starts at position 10, but does it include,
Position
I feel like it includes 10
It
as
does.
one of those 15, right? So if
does.
you really wanted to get to the 16th one or the 25th one, you'd have to use 16, not 15.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes from 10 and then takes you, so 10 plus 14 more. So there's that. The next one is concat, which is concatenation, which just combines two columns or two pieces of data. Here I've got concat first name, then a space, and then last name from actor.
Okay, I have another question from the quiz
sure.
on this. So can you concat like a first name plus a number, or do they have to both be strings?
Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna fly blind on this. I think it's cast or convert. Let's see if I did first name and age. This should error. No, from persons. Okay, so it did it. So you can, I'm never sure about which systems which do this. Not there. When you take a number and put it into this function, there is an implicit conversion of an integer into a char. Okay, in the concatenation, you can implicitly convert any number into a text-based character.
So it's, even though it's a number, it's really a string of a number.
Right, because it converts it automatically.
Okay.
If you try to take a text-based file and convert it into a number implicitly, it would blow up in your face. You got to do an explicit conversion there. So if you had a number in it, if you had a varchar field with numbers in it, and you tried to add two things to it, it would actually error because it can't implicitly convert a text field into a number, but anything can go into a text field, so it's fine. That makes sense? Okay. Last one that I want to show you is replace. So you can use a replace command, say what column you want replaced. It'll look for every capital A and change it to this. So if I run this like so, that's what it was. That's what it is now. But I didn't update it, just what's showing what it is now. So you can replace things. This is good. Like if someone mistypes something, like if someone puts the word blue in there, but spells it BLEU, you can do an automatic replace on everything that doesn't fit right. Oh, there's every A is being replaced. Because everything's capital. Okay. Does all of this make sense? Because this is the gist, and I put these in here specifically because I knew there were questions on the exercises for substring and concat. Are there any questions on this? Everyone feel comfortable with this stuff?
I have one more question.
Go for
The
it.
replace, so you select and then you select the column and then you put a comma,
Hmm.
replace. Okay.
No, this I just showed for the difference. You don't need that there. That runs off. I just want to show the difference between the two because that'll work just fine without it.
Select. So you just say select, replace.
Hmm.
Oh,
I could also do it here. I could do. I could take this here. Oops.
but if you wanted to specify a column, like you did before.
Oh, I just did that for this, just to show you the difference between the two. I just put first name there to show you the difference. But I can do this here.
Oh, because the column is specified within the replace.
Yeah, the columns are here in the
Okay.
place.
But
So
before
I
you said select last name, comma, replace. So I was just checking
Right.
on that.
Yeah, because I was just showing you this would look. That was giving you a before and after.
Mm,
So you know I wasn't lying to you when I said it was going to change it. So yeah, here's the original last name. Here's the replaced last name.
okay, thank you. That was confusing.
Sorry about that. Okay. That's what this chapter is about. This is all about just these functions. There are many other functions. And this is where I kind of tell you, like, play with it. Look at all the different functions, play with replace, play with substring. Look at all these things here, back over here to, yeah, play with all of these. Oh, these are aggregate functions. Count, group concat, blah, blah, blah. Over here are let me get this out of the way. Over here are the string functions. Locate, length, oops. Length tells you how long a string is in bytes. Lowercase, LPAD, LTrim, that removes spaces. So these aren't on the quiz. These are just things to know. Okay. Okay, that counts for all the objectives today. And are there any questions on the stuff I've shown you tonight? All right. Now, are there any other questions you have? I'll open the floor to any questions. Yes, Daniel.
I just have a question on example number 1.
And what I've done here or in the exercises?
The exercise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up. Exercise number 1. Okay, yeah.
So it says proceed, right?
Parse, yeah.
But it's giving us, if we run the code, the stuff that says, substring and then please find the substring, blah, blah, blah. It does not bring up the parseed, where it doesn't bring up the chart, the table as it's shown right
Okay.
there.
So what you need to do there, let me give you an example without giving you an example. Let me grab this. Copy. And let me go back to my window here. It's not the one. Okay, that parse thing. Select substring. Okay, and then I want to use this, comma, 10, comma, 25. And I'm gonna put here as parsed. So the parse thing. What is your dysfunction? Oh. That's
You don't
right.
have like a thing at the end. Semicolon.
No, it's a different error. I think it's a different error because for some reason the command substring doesn't want to work, but that should work. Nope, that doesn't work. What am I doing wrong? Oh, that. Was that what you tell me to have?
Right?
Were you gonna tell me I didn't have a comma there? that what you're doing? I had a dot there. I didn't have a comma.
Here's the thing, it looks like a dot, but I was like, maybe I just don't see it right.
There it is.
I don't know.
So that's where parsed is. So when you put an as and to put a word after that, it names the column. So that's what that's asking for. Because I can do the same thing here. As here, I can do this as cupcake. And just run this. And that column becomes cupcake. Okay. Whenever you're bringing a value into a table, even if it's like a regular, like here, like I've got last name replace, so I can do this last name as original, and I can do this as replaced. I'll even spell it right. So when I run this, normally it will say last. So normally it'll say the last name there, but now it's going to say that I have an error. Oh, because I goofed up there. Okay. There we are. So now it's going to be original and then replaced. So that's just a way of renaming columns or adding a column name to where there isn't one. Because if I didn't have this here, what's going to show up here is this. And that's not attractive.
Okay.
Yeah. So all that's asking for there.
So you changed on there. You changed what? I'm sorry. On that one example again.
Yeah. All you got to do here. So on the example here we're talking about for the thing is let me bring this all the way down the bottom here. Okay. So all that I did was I select substring, right? And then the text that I want to substring from, right?
Yeah.
Start at position 10, go 25 after 10. So you go from 10 to
25.
34, and then
Okay.
call it parsed when you're done. So when you make the table, I want you to call that column parsed. And there it is.
Okay. And why does it say to work with? Oh. Okay,
I just got
okay.
it. I could. That's the only thing I could find. I could put anything there if I wanted to. I could take this, copy. That's going to make bad things happen. Forget I did that. I have quote problems there. Yeah, so this is whatever text is here. So here in this example, what they're asking you to do is to take this string here, right, and put it in a similar statement that you're getting that you're looking for the 17th character through the 25th character, and what shows up obviously is going to be substring. And they want you to call it parsed. They want you to name the column parsed.
So just after you've written everything else, just say as first.
As parsed. Yep. Like I said, that works anywhere. That works if you want to rename a column, you want to rename any results you have, and you want to name that column something else. You put the as there, and it will call it that column. That's what the column name will be. Okay. So needless to say, take the query I wrote and just change the values, and you've got your answer.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's look at number 3. Why not? We're on here. Write a query that returns just the month portion of the current date with a column of alias of month. So that's another substring. Actually, no, this can be the month command, but that's a date time. Write a query that returns the month portion of the current date with a column alias of month. So let me see if I can see. Let me see something here. Let me make sure I remember how to do this. If I do it wrong, don't get mad at me. Select.
Just don't do it wrong. We won't be mad at you. No problem.
It's been a, you know.
And I'm like
Rule,
pulling up my answer.
rule number 1 is to never write code on the fly. Oh, I don't want to delete date. I want to select date. That was weird. That was a bad choice. So select date. What is the command here?
What happened there?
Is it get date? This is where I get confused. Nope, this is where I get confused between formats because in Oracle and MySQL it's get date, but that doesn't work. All right.
Oh, it won't show me what I did.
But
I was looking at the book for this.
yeah. Let's see.
Tim says current date. Yeah.
Current date. Is that what
Yeah.
it is
So
here?
you do current date and then you put like extract
yes.
month or something,
Yeah.
right?
There we are. You gotta love the 15 different ways to do SQL. Get select current date. There we are.
But you have to extract the month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just check it.
Okay, so if I remember day. There we are. There. So select day from current date, gives me the day. Select year from current date, gives me the year. So
Oh,
guess
I was
what
thinking
gives
you
it-
had to use extract, but you don't have to use extract. You just say month in front.
Yep.
Okay.
There's it's a built-in function as please let it end. No. Here. There you go. And you do that. And then boom. There you go. Okay.
The example in the book did use extract, but it was
Okay.
still using month and current date as
Yeah.
well.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I was like, I really thought I had to use extract. Oh.
The thing is, and this is where you kind of learn them. This is a built-in function that has extract built into it. So as long as it knows that it's looking at a date, it will extract it out. So if there's anything here with a date, let's see, release year, thing here with date, I think inventory, no, rental date. So if I did select month rental date, comma, year rental date from rental.
Human face.
Okay. So learning the built-in functions is very handy. So you don't have to go through all the hassle of writing out extract and cast and convert and everything. This just is, it does it implicitly. All right, let's see what else we got here.
All right, I have one more question by the end of this, so we should
Go for
finish
it.
this so I can ask it.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's the last question. There you go. Those are
Okay,
the 3
okay.
questions.
Or unless if somebody else has a question, my thing's about the final. So if anybody else has a question, you can go there first.
Any more questions about the week 6 and reading and functions and stuff?
Okay, then I'm gonna ask you about my final question. So I got excited and tried to insert some data into my final thing today.
Mhm.
But I ran into a little bit of a problem and I was not sure why. So do you mind if I just share my screen and I can
Go
show
for
you?
it.
Great. Okay. I can't start screen share while the other participant is sharing. So you have to
Stop
stop sharing
share.
first.
I
Apparently I
stopped sharing.
can't steal from you. What?
No.
Mm.
In Microsoft Teams, you can. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So this is my current thing. And I think it's pretty happy. I like it a lot.
Mhm.
And then I did forward engineer, which so
Kills
I can show you I copied the script because you're like, don't trust
Yep.
it.
Yep.
But I trusted it.
Okay.
So
Did it work?
maybe I shouldn't have. It seems like it worked.
Well,
So then I went over to my thing and I was like, sweet, let's first I worked on child because I was like, oh great. And I inserted some kids and it worked. Ta-da.
Right. Okay.
And then I was like, okay, then I'm gonna insert some activity types and that was working. So like,
Okay.
but then when I tried to insert activities like piano lesson, etc.,
Mhm.
it did not work. And
Okay.
I feel like it's because it's joined with that other table. Do you know what I'm saying?
Let's look at your schema again.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's because it's joined with the other table.
So activity has an activity type attached to it. So, and it's foreign keyed, which means if
So
it,
do I need to put that in manually?
yes.
Okay, because I just did a different assignment for my other class where I had to put it in manually. It was like, okay, this art piece has these keywords in it. So each keyword is assigned a number. So now put those numbers in with the art piece kind of a thing. So I
Yep.
just need to put it in. I need to put in the activity ID will be automatic, but then I need to do the activity types, put
Yep.
that in as well. And
Yep,
do I
yep.
put that in like just as like, do I just a number?
Yep.
Right? I don't have to like put in quotes.
Nope. Just put in a number.
Oh, okay.
So
Great,
keep in
that was
mind,
my
so
question.
like, so keep in mind, so let's like, when you look at those at the front end, so when someone's inserting activity on the front end of this application, there's gonna be a drop-down menu that has all the activity types, and you're gonna type in the name of the activity. So what's gonna happen on the back end when you hit the submit button, it's gonna go to the database, get the number that's attached to that activity type, and then put in the insert statement into the activity.
Right.
So
Okay,
yeah,
and then one more thing is I wanted, tell me if this works. So this used to, the child was just connected to scheduled activities, but I also thought maybe you could just search like search it this way as well. Like instead of a scheduled, what time it is, just what activities they have. Does that make sense? Is that fine?
so here's the thing with that. So schedule activity, location, action. So you've got the information you have here in the activity type is in the child has activity section. It's redundant data. So if you look here, child has an activity right here, right? And then scheduled activity has all this information you're looking at. So this is so if you look at child.
So I guess
right?
for me, I was thinking I could look at like, okay, if I select, child 1, I can literally see like, okay, my child 1 has piano, soccer, whatever, but not the specific details of what times they have them or places, just a list of like what they are doing as
Right.
their activities. That's what I was thinking.
The information in this table is already in the other 4. So it doesn't need to be here. Because you can write a query that gets that information out. This violates like normalization rule 4.
Okay.
This is redundant data.
So I got rid of my grade thing because I thought it was messing me up, but I guess I could redo it.
Well, the child would be in a grade.
I know. Well, I had a separate grade table because I need 12 tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See?
If you don't have, if this 11 will be fine. I'm not gonna, don't make up tables for the sake of making them up. You wouldn't
Okay.
put a grade table because one child will only have 1 grade. I mean, you could put a grade table in
I know.
here
I
and
got
then
rid of
put-
it too because it's like not every child will even have a grade. Do you know
True.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I
Okay.
wouldn't have a grade table. So I would, but yeah, so if you want to know like what activity the child had, you would like join child has activity in the activity table. These 4 tables here, child has activity, scheduled activities, and activity, give you the information that one table did, and there's no reason to have redundant data. What you could do is create a view that does that.
Okay, so that would be more like,
Yeah,
like a filter, not
Yeah.
not with the data. Okay.
you can create a view that does that, and that would work better. But you would need a table for that.
Cool. Yeah, I think the forward engineering works pretty good, and I saved the
Cool.
script
Sweet.
so I can double check it.
Well, good, because you need to send me the script.
Well, I knew it was also part of it. Yes. Anyways, okay, cool. Except for now, I'm gonna drop it and redo it because every time I don't know. All right, good. Thank you.
I totally would. When everything is said and done, I would drop everything and rerun all the scripts to make sure they work, and then send them to me.
Okay.
That way you know you've got perfect scripts, and then when I run them, I'm not gonna like run into errors.
Okay. Thanks. That was my question.
So Daniel, are you gonna do the final project, or you can do the final exam?
I'll probably do both.
Well, only one will count, so you can take the best of 2 if you really want to.
Okay,
um,
so the final project, it's whatever topic we want to do.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Just pick an application that you want to design, or an application that's out there you want to, do better or do the same or whatever. And then just design the back end for it. Give me a rough idea what the front end looks like. So give me the insert, give me all the create statements for all the tables. Give me insert statements for the data for those tables, and then run some case studies. Like for example, I was given for the database here that I have, the Sakilla, which is for like a movie database, right? I'm not
Yeah.
sharing anymore. Let me share again.
Okay.
Here. Okay, so for Sakilla here, like what are some case studies that, so you have to think in terms of like, okay, I'm making this application for a video for a rental store, which doesn't exist anymore. And I want to know, like, what movies are most popular, what genre of movies are most popular in February, So I wanted to write a query that says, show me the highest, the genre movie, the highest count of rentals in that day. And all that information is here, right?
Yeah.
I want to find like when rom-coms aren't popular, and make it a special that month to rent 2 rom-coms for the price of 1 or something, right? I want to find out, like, do people rent movies on their birthday? I want to find out any number of things. I can find out who pays with credit cards, who doesn't play with credit cards, which customers are constantly late returning their videos. So when you're doing your your database, and you're making this up, saying, like, you look at it and going, okay, what do I want to know from this data? Like, there was a gentleman who was going to do an application to track, like, the school buses, like what students are on them, what people drove them, so you want to know, like, who drove bus 614 this year, what students are usually on this particular bus, what students were absent on November 4th.
Yeah.
So all this information is there. It's like it's funny because I talk about this with the church. Like, when you scan your temple recommend when you go to the temple, somewhere is a database with every time you've gone to the temple and who you did the work for while you were there. We're not allowed to see that information. That'd be really cool, though, right? So I mean, whenever you think of these, I think like you want to give yourself a headache. Imagine the database that runs family search.
Okay. We need, how many of those folders do we need?
How many tables?
Minimum?
Between 10 and 12.
Okay.
Between 10 and 12.
He changed it for me.
I did. Well, I mean,
I still might add one more if I'm filling it out and it seems like there should be another.
I don't want to see the things, and I kind of put it that way because, usually when you're doing a database, you can like find 12 tables easy, but sometimes you got to kind of like force it and figure it out and stuff like that. And I'd rather not, like, make up a table that doesn't need to be there, because like for the purpose of grade, yes, I could see where grade would need to be there. And even with like a child with no grade, you can put no grade and have a grade that's no grade or something in there. But, is it actually necessary? I'm all about like just putting the stuff that's required. If you look there and see there's supposed to be 12, or you can figure, like I had one student did like 25 because like he just got on a roll. And, like, you know, the schema, sometimes schemas explode on you, you know, and you're like, ooh, look at all this stuff.
So I have a question about the front end
Mhm.
idea. So is that something you want us to do with like HTML, CSS? Or
You can do it. You can do like scribble on the front end stuff is all. If you do it, great. If not, I'm not gonna penalize you for it. Because we're database administrators here. We're not here about the pretty. We're here about the functional. So you could do like I've had students like just like crayons and paper, and just scan it in and take pictures of it.
So if we want it, so I'm using this as a thing for a front end class I'm doing. So how do you use like JavaScript to connect these two, like the database to the front
Yeah.
website? Is that how you do it usually?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't even
mean,
be able to connect it. Okay.
Well, it gets more complicated than that because you want to use JavaScript to call store procedures. You don't want the raw code sitting in your JavaScript. So, and this class does not talk about creating store procedures. And I think maybe the 325 class does. I'm not really sure. But yeah, you don't want to put like your insert queries like in your raw JavaScript. And people,
Okay,
that's
good
a
to know.
really bad idea because if someone right clicks on the web page, and says show code, they'll see all your queries, which is bad. Oh, I should post a cartoon. There's a cartoon called Little Johnny Tables. I think you guys might know it by now. I'll show you that, Kate. I'll post that next week in my announcement about like, you know, guys know what SQL injection is? SQL
sorry, Ed?
injection. You know what SQL injection is?
No.
So SQL injection, when you write a stored procedure and you have someone input variables into it to make it run, they can input the variables in such a way that it causes the command to do something completely different, like drop tables. So like if you're like on a front end web page and it says insert your name and you put like semicolon drop table names semicolon, what'll end up happening is it'll execute the drop table names and the table will be gone from the database. It's a lot more complicated than that, but SQL injection is a pretty vicious thing to do to somebody.
That sounds
Okay.
vicious. Goodness.
But there are people out there who do that. That's their lot in life, and they want to just mess with people's databases. This is why backups are so important.
Okay. I'm gonna hop off. Thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye. You good, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good for now.
Well, we'll be back next week.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.